Hello and welcome to a brand new series. I think I'm going to be calling this Python typing puzzles. Not really sure. The idea behind it is I'm going to be showing you some small examples in Python of typing problems, particularly with MyPy, and show you patterns that you can apply in a bunch of other places to fix the problems. And so hopefully you learn something while solving these and then can apply it elsewhere. A lot of these tidbits have been very useful for me to apply as a pattern while fixing typing at work or writing typed code in general. All of the code examples are going to live on GitHub, so if you want to follow along, you can as well. And those are going to live at github.com/AnthonyWritesCode/ what did I call it? Typing-puzzles. So I will be putting code samples here and solutions. If you don't want to spoil yourself, don't look at solutions. Yeah, and so the way this is laid out is there'll be a puzzles directory. Each puzzle will have a number and a readme and a Python input file, and then I'll probably put solution.py next to it to show how I would solve it. As with all these, we are going to start by setting up a virtual env and installing MyPy. That's also so the video can see what version of MyPy and what Python version we're targeting, so that I don't need document that. Note that we're going to potentially be doing things that are specific to Python 3.12, but they can all be backported to previous versions of Python as well via typing extensions or from future import annotations or various other ways. Usually typing extensions is the main way. And I guess I won't be using the special generic syntax in this, but you could also use the old type variables. But we won't need it for this one. Okay, anyway, all of that out of the way, let's jump into the actual puzzle. So the code examples are going to be fairly contrived, and the point is more to show what's actually going on here rather than trying to actually have a real example. Okay, but what we have here is we have some function. We actually don't care about its implementation, so I've stubbed it out. It takes a few arguments of various types, one, int, str, and float, or none. And we have another function. This is where the typing error is. There's actually two errors, one on this line and one on this line. Actually, no, one on this line and one on this line. We'll show that in a sec, but the idea behind this is this function takes some variable input that causes it to either pass or not pass a argument along. And so we have a variable set of keyword arguments, usually represented as a dictionary, and then we double star splat them into the function when we call it. I don't really know why I added z here. It doesn't really add or remove to this other than it's just something else. So let's show the errors here, and then I will let you pause and you can solve it if you want on your own. Otherwise, I will solve it in real time. All right, if we run MyPy on this, we get two errors. Incompatible types and assignment. Expression has type str, target has type int. The reason for this is MyPy infers this dictionary as having string keys and integer values. And so when you try and assign something here, it's going to be like, what the heck? This isn't an integer. This is a string. What are you doing? Because it doesn't have as smart enough inference to know, oh yeah, this is a variable thing. As a human, intuitively, we look at this and we know this works because x is always an integer, y is always a string. But we need to convince the type checker of that as well in order for this to pass type checking. The other error that we get is when we actually call. It inferred, again, dict str int. And so when it tries to match this argument here, it's like, what the heck? This isn't an integer. It's actually okay with z because floats can take integers in the Python typing system, which is a little bit of a problem, but as it is, it doesn't matter for this. So this is the only argument that it complains about. Like, what the heck? I'm trying to shove an integer into a string variable, but it doesn't work. So how do we go about fixing this? I actually put a hint in. Oh, I've already expanded it. I've already fixed it here too. I put a hint here if you want, so you can do that. Oh, I forgot to say when you can pause. Well, it's too late now. You've already seen the hint. You can use dict str any to solve this, but it is not the intended solution, and it has some downsides. Let me show you that really quick. I'm typing import any. If we annotate kwargs as dict str any, and we run MyPy on this, MyPy will now pass because it no longer type checks this assignment because the target is any, and it no longer type checks the arguments here because this is any as well. This also means that it's no longer type safe. So if you passed the wrong value for y here, MyPy is going to be okay with it. So it is a solution, it is a hacky solution, but it is not a good solution because it compromises your type safety. The solution that I intend for this is a different type of dictionary, a TypedDict. TypedDict is really helpful for representing dictionaries that have heterogeneous makeup. That is, they have well-defined string keys, but have some variability in type on the values based on the key. For that, we're going to make a TypedDict. Typing import TypedDict, and we're also going to import not required. This is going to help us represent that this Y key is not always present here, and sometimes we'll pass along ** kwargs, and we'll just accept whatever the default was in Y here. So we'll make our TypedDict. I'm going to call it some function kwargs. Probably I would add z to it too, but since our example only cares about x and y, we're just going to do the simplest thing. So TypedDict. I always get thrown up by the double D here. I'm typing hard. Okay, so now we need to represent the keys here. There is going to be a little bit of duplication here. Dry purists are going to get all mad here. But we have to re-represent these same types in this dictionary in order to represent the keyword. So we're going to start by x and y. This won't work as written because, well, I guess I'll just show you this. So this is, I already hinted at the actual answer here, but I'll show you why this doesn't work. So this y stir does type this properly. And so if we run mypy on this, the call will succeed. Oh, we didn't actually. The call will succeed, some function works. The call will succeed, but the definition of the TypedDict will not. So here we're missing key y, and that's because we need to mark y as an optional key, one that we sometimes conditionally fill in later. I shouldn't use the word optional because it's overloaded in Python. Good way to words that otherwise. Okay, so we're going to set y as not required, and now mypy should pass here, which is really great. The other cool thing is if we change the type here, like we accidentally mistype this as integer, mypy is going to tell us both that we made the wrong assignment here, but also that the argument types didn't match up. So mypy is actually type checking that the arguments all match up when we do that splat there, which is really, really nice. It means that we can get strong type checking for something where we're doing a little bit of dynamic metaprogrammery stuff. Not saying that ** kwargs is really metaprogrammer. I don't know, filling in arguments by name is sort of qualifies. But anyway, that's really the answer here. Like, make a TypedDict to represent your variable keyword arguments. Use not required where you have some sort of optional keyword arguments. And then finally annotate the dictionary, and that's all you really need. I find that this pattern shows up a lot, and so hopefully this is useful for you. Let's copy t.py to solution.py, and we'll discard t.py. And that'll be our solution. Add solution for 001. We had an import reorder, of course. And that's going to be episode 1. Hopefully you found this useful, and hopefully there are many more to come. You can also probably suggest other patterns that you may want to see in the mypy channel on the Discord. If you want to join the Discord, there's a link in the description. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.